So we're here with Matthew Lambert from Qubic Group PLC, and he's agreed for me to ask you a few questions about the business and how they help their clients. So welcome, Matthew. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.
So tell me a little bit about Qubic Group.
So Qubic is a value-added reseller, a solution developer, a cloud solution partner. Many different titles for many different people, but basically what we do is we add value and deliver digital transformation through people, process, and technology across voice, data, and connectivity.
So there's plenty of buzzwords in there, but what do you actually do? How do you solve a problem for your clients?
Okay, so there's three core areas: voice, data, and connectivity. So on the voice side of things, we partner with Mitel. Now Mitel is the global leader in unified communications, which is physical, your telephone, whether it's on the desktop, whether it's on your smartphone, whether it's on your PC screen. It's your dial tone, me calling you, talking. And we partner with Mitel because they are literally the market leader. We've been partnering them for 20 odd years. I personally deal with all the management team for the last 15, so we've got a good relationship with those guys. But from a technology point of view, you don't really care about all the features and widgets. What you want to know is it works, dial tone. What's happening more and more often is people want mobility, so they want to have that the same experience they have on their desk to when they're moving around. We have a lot of international companies where we do their telephony in their other locations. So they want a single feel of when they go somewhere else.
I love this mobility piece. I mean, when I consider myself going out and using my machine in the coffee shop or going at home, so you'll be able to make sure that I haven't got all those issues with trying to log on and be able to fire up my laptop, all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. A classic example, we look after global headhunters, and they've got multiple locations. So head office in Holborn, traditional telephone system, telephone, etc., etc. Go to Germany, still got the same telephone when they get there, and they just log in and they've just got all the same preferences, their speed dials, etc. Really super easy. But what we've got for the IT director who's moving around all the time is he's got a soft app. He's got an app on his phone, and that's like when he makes that call over Wi-Fi, it's like using the traditional telephone system. So he's got all the speed dials, you can do internal calling, etc., etc. Obviously commercially it's a lot cheaper because he's not doing international dial tone, he's breaking out from his various locations. So there's some real both commercial benefits and physical efficiencies of working like that.
So I could be in my Hong Kong office making local UK phone calls on my mobile.
Correct.
Wow, that's
yeah,
great. That's
it's
a really
that simple.
great system.
I mean, in the old days, we used to physically, send the telephone in someone's luggage and go to that location. But nowadays, because Mitel's a global partner, we would just partner with that company in that locality. Either send a guy down to site if needed, or just ship it to that site. You just fire it up. It boots up automatically, goes back to the mothership, off you go, you're working.
So you see that as being one of the core pain points that people would come and see you, and that's the way that you solve that mobility piece.
On the mobility piece, in terms of global locations, massive. If you go and suddenly work in Australia and you've got all your setup how you want it, like you do on your laptop for your telephony, makes your life super easy. So from an efficiency driver, it's a big driver for the global companies.
I like it. So I've been hearing loads about people getting hacked at the moment. I mean, crikey, the NHS just had the massive blow up.
Yes.
Has that happened to your clients? Do you see this as a problem? What's the scenario there?
It's very topical. So the WannaCry plug that came out. So all of our customers, we actually enforce that they utilise some of the services that we put onto their desktops, etc. So we use a particular branded software which prevents it from actually getting into the system in the first place. So what we did is we actually mandated to our clients, we're going to put this on your systems and services. It costs X, Y, Z, but actually, if you don't take it, you've almost got to put a disclosure saying, I'm not taking it, therefore I'm not secure, and then we're not liable. So in the example of the WannaCry, we had thousands and thousands of attacks, and we get thousands of attacks. We can see the attacks coming in all the time to our client sites. We had thousands, but thankfully, touch wood, not one client had a problem on the actual day or aftermath of that. In fact, we had a couple of clients call in and say, oh my God, we kicked off about the extra cost at this time, but actually, thank God we had it. And because the software tells us real-time facts, we actually know how many instances are coming in and going out. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail on that because obviously it's our security, but suffice to say we're talking about thousands and thousands of attacks on a daily basis across our estate of clients.
Fantastic, and then I can understand how much of a need that is, but it's sort of if it doesn't happen, you're doing a good job, but it's peace of mind, isn't it, for the customer?
It's massive. It's massive. I mean, the cybersecurity is a really big thing for us right now, and with GDPR, which is a European regulation that's coming in next May, which basically says to all companies that hold data with any customer's data, they have to have the privacy settings, they have to have regulatory security around what they do and how they do it. So what we're finding now is our clients are saying, can you be our data protection officer as a service? So, people can't afford their own data protection. If you're a small business, you can't afford that. Whereas we're now offering that as a pay-as-you-go service. So we'll give them all the security and all the regulatory side of it, and we'll give them the actual physical software on the site as well.
Fantastic. So you effectively become their data protection
Absolutely.
officer.
So if you think in an enterprise, they would employ these people. There'll be a whole team looking after data security. Of course, in SME businesses, which is predominantly our clients, we're looking after clients from say 50 to 500 employees. So at the smaller end of that, you haven't got the ability to look after that area yourself, and nor would you want to, by the way, because it's changing so frequently, and because we have both the staff, the knowledge, and the pedigree with those software vendors, we can actually deploy it for you.
Yeah, makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So talk to me about digital transformation. What is it? Why should I care?
There's another buzzword for you, isn't it? So digital transformation for us, what it means for us is it means taking customers from their legacy on-premise technology, whether it be a telephone system in the building, whether it be the servers in the building, old technology, analog lines, digital lines, etc., and moving them into the cloud. Now the cloud is not a cloud. A cloud is servers, in data centers, and we have multiple data center presence with diverse routing for security and business continuity. And digital transformation for us means taking you to the future software-driven IP technology. Now, do you care? No. If your telephone works today and it works tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. But going forwards, all the feature set that we mentioned about mobility, you can't have that on some of the legacy systems. Some of the presence and collaboration tools that we now utilize, you can't have it on some of the legacy systems. So we're taking our clients piecemeal through a process. So what happens is you have an on-premise client, and then they become like a hybrid. So it's got some on-premise, and then the new servers go into the cloud, maybe using Microsoft Azure, and then full cloud deployment where they're actually scaling up or scaling down or bursting, or if it's a media company and they want high availability, high bandwidth, you need to be able to access the cloud for those sorts of services.
Is it expensive for me?
No. So what happens is, the reality is you've paid for your investment, okay? So can you sweat your initial asset? Yes, you can. If you've bought a telephone system, you've bought servers, we'll carry on using those servers on the premise, and we migrate over a period of time that's right for your business and your budget. So if you're a new startup, we would go full cloud, happy days. If you were existing client and you're like, well, I've got all these services and legacy software and legacy databases, we do it on a piecemeal basis and take you through a project management process.
So on average, running servers in my office and running servers in the cloud, which one costs me more?
There's cost in multiple areas, okay? So if you've bought the server, then there's no additional cost, is there? The risk factor of that data and backing up and all that side of things only becomes a problem when there's a problem. So we recognise that, and as a business ourselves, we've gone from a legacy, having servers and PCs and all the rest of it on the desk, to the cloud. It's a journey, and every CFO we talk to, every FD always wants to know, well, do I need to do this? Well, the problem only comes when you haven't done it, and then you've got a real problem in your business. Or it becomes a problem when you're not being able to scale up as quickly as you like to, because your legacy IT is not ready fit for purpose. In terms of like for like, if I was deploying now a cloud solution as opposed to an on-premise solution, the cloud solution would be more cost effective. Generally on an OPEX model, so per user per month, rather than a XYZ upfront cost.
Fantastic, thank you. And just finally, give me an idea of why you think you're better than your competition in this market, because it is a crowded market, and so we're always looking at reasons why companies perform better or are better. What would you say to that?
Sure. So the first thing is it's a massively busy environment, and actually if I was a buyer, who do you go and talk to when and how? What I would say is you want to look at 2 or 3 key things. Firstly, we think of it as 3 things: people, process, technology. So the people first. So we've got 54 staff, highly weighted in technical staff, engineers that physically go to your site and understand what's going on in your business. Trust me, that's probably the biggest thing, because if something goes wrong, what do? And they get hold of a physical person in our UK location, based out of St Albans. We've got a 24/7 knock, so we're always on the phone to the people, and they're talking to someone they can actually know, that knows their site. That's a big deal. In terms of processes, we've got great accreditations. We've got ISO 9001, we've got ISO 2007 version 2011. We won't bore you with the detail. We've got G10, G9 cloud accreditation. So from a security point of view and from a process procedure point of view, we're right up there, probably with enterprise grade resellers and partners out there, talking about your big partners. And then from a technology point of view, we partner with Mitel, global leader for voice. We partner with Microsoft, global leader for data and IT, and we partner with Vodafone. But because we partner with those guys and we're doing so much business with those guys, the commercials are as good as you can get if you try to go with them directly. Well, you can't go with them directly anyway, but in that community, we're right up there in terms of our commercials. So from a technology, being able to do voice, data and connectivity across the entire piece, that's us. And then from a commercial point of view, you get the best deal. Can I get this online better? Well, once you get to that sort of level of total wrap, customers understand that actually it pays to be with someone like a Kubik.
Well, a lovely way to conclude. Matthew Lambert, thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Cheers.